My name is Karen Alvarez.
And I am Shukri Ali.
We just watched the documentary. It was really interesting and really connecting for us because, for example, I'm from the Dominican Republic, a small island in the Caribbean, and we experience similar factors that affect us as the millennials, affect us as students, but most of all affects us with our families, friends, and who we get involved with.
I am from Somaliland in East Africa, and for us, language is not a problem. So if I go to Boston or if I go to anywhere in Massachusetts, and if I find a Somali that speaks the Somali language, I will be able to interact with them. So like we don't have 250 plus languages within the country. We only have Somali. And I think that is the good thing about having one language because it unites the whole people. But we have, like, the only issue we have is the clan, and people use clan is when, like, within the politics. So when we are electing a president or when we are choosing our parliaments and all of that. So I think this was very informative to see what is happening in Kenya.
Yeah, it was really interesting because for me, I speak Spanish. I grew up speaking Spanish. I grew up studying in a school where Spanish was the only language, and English was kind of like a subject and in the schools. It was really interesting that in the documentary, many communities deny. For example, Kiswahili was one of the languages, but in my family, I grew up speaking Spanish and being Spanish the predominant language where I grew up. While English was part of my social language, my language in the schools, and a language that I use to develop myself as like a professional.
This was enlightening. It is what I teach about the languages and the cultures. And when I listen and see what people talk about, you see when they talk about moving with the languages from Africa to the US, that is who people are. People are the languages they speak. The language is a storage of people's experiences. So when you find people speaking Kisi or Kikuyu or Luo, that is who they are as people. Because all the experiences of life from like thousands of years ago are embedded in the language. So this was a very encouraging documentary, and I hope like it should be shown to many Africans, many Kenyans who need to know the value of our languages, our cultures. Because basically in Swahili we say mwacha mila ni mtumwa. Like if you desert your culture, you are a slave. Basically, you are a slave of other people's culture if you don't like your own culture. So this is very revealing. I like it. And I will want a copy of this documentary to be shown in my classes, and even other people in the community who are from Africa, from Kenya, from Kisii. And I would tell them, love your culture, love your languages. Don't run away from your languages. Teach our kids our own languages. Very important. Language is who we are.